The World Investment Summit on Education, WISE 2017, opened with a panel examining the problem of education for refugees around the world. Bukola Samuel Wemimo reports from Doha.
Opening with a plenary themed "As Long as the Problem, Asset Overburden, Education for Refugee Youth, from Policies to Programming, Let the Evidence Speak." With this, the keynote speaker and Ghanaian President Nana Akufo-Addo has a huge task.
It is disheartening, to say the least, to find that African youths do not see a future in their respective countries and are willing to cross the Sahara Desert on foot and drown in the Mediterranean Sea in a desperate bid to reach the mirage of a better life in Europe. With the majority of African economies dependent on the production and export of raw materials, who can blame them for wanting to leave?
Having set the tone for the panelists, they have their work defined as they identify the underlying problems.
And if our core global institutions, be it the UN, the EU, other regional bodies, are not willing to say, listen, we have to prioritize human rights above and beyond all else. We will not pay to support smuggling routes in the Mediterranean. We will not pay to support countries when they bomb other countries. We will not fund and support and allow for those people to have platforms within our spaces. Until we do that, we can't realistically talk about anything else when it comes to education.
In the 3 last years when I was in this mandate, a lot of projects in many affected countries in crisis, that through this project we can provide at least protection to the children in the very devastating situation.
23-year-old Qatari youth advocate Asma Afri has interacted with Syrian refugees her age. Her experience with them is touching.
They deserved to be nurtured, to feel like there's hope in this world, and every child deserves that. So I was conflicted there because I felt like it was a matter of luck, and it shouldn't be luck. It shouldn't be luck that every child can grow up in a place that's hopeful. It's just a human right.
Questions got brilliant answers from the session opening day 2 of the World Investment Summit on Education. But perhaps one that hasn't gotten sufficient answers is that of why education and rights issues are often politicized in areas of the world where there is conflict.
I think a lot of it has to do with the powers that be that seeing their interest or not seeing their interest in education. That usually leads to some level of neglect, which is usually suffered by those who are less fortunate or less powerful.
The money itself is not really going to solve the issues. It is, yes, definitely it's an important, but it's not going to solve the issues of out-of-school children and their access to education unless you really think about what causes all of this. You go to the roots.
The message that is being actually exported is that there should be specific target program that should be able to take care of situation of this sort, especially the sort of crisis situation. You need to actually put certain things in place that will take care of the most basic and common needs of those that are caught across by the crisis.
From the Qatar National Conference Center, Bukola Samuel Wemimo, TVC News.